I'm Roberto Marquez. In this video I demonstrate a JavaFX application that communicates with a temperature and humidity sensor and displays the values on screen. As a weather enthusiast, I need an app to communicate with a microcontroller so that it can display temperature and humidity settings on screen. This actual product here is what I had in mind for it to look like, and that was what I was going for. So the hardware for this application is the SHT41 Trinkey from Adafruit, and the software used is available on GitHub. Specifically, the CircuitPython code is available here, and it's just really this one code file that was mostly borrowed from the code that Adafruit put out. And for the display software, it's written in Java and is available under this directory. And for the display itself, it's using JavaFX. And for the LED numbers displayed, Web Techie, shout out to Frank, that provided a Maven dependency that's used in this project, as well as Phasecast that provided the serial communication package that talks with the microcontroller, and JUnit, TestNG, and AssertJ are used for testing this application. All of this information is available here in the POM file, so if you're interested in seeing those dependencies, you can check that file. Again, I showed the source code already for the CircuitPython, and the source code for the display is mainly in this file here. Under this Java package. And so the serial port communication is configured in the main app, and I'm using I mentioned JSerialCom, and it's using its get ports method, and I'm just picking off the first one. If you're running this code locally and you have issues with that index, you may have another USB device attached, so try plugging in like an actual string path and then uncommenting this line here for whatever is showing up on your PC. So that's a serial port configuration. Parsing sensor values is mainly in this class, and it's just doing some basic line string manipulation. And for testing, this is the main class here, sensor readings test, and like I said, it's using AssertJ, TestNG annotations, and it's basically just given any lines that are correct, that it correctly parses them, and if it receives something that's incorrect, it detects that and doesn't pass on that as a correct sensor value. So I'd like to demo the application, but first just show that CircuitPython code running. And right now I'm plugging it into the computer, and it didn't find anything, so let me try again. I should have turned it in. Okay. So the move editor is starting, and I've already plugged in the Trinkey. Maybe if I bring up its oh, there it is. Okay, so it finally saw it. And if we go to the serial plotter, you'll see that eventually we'll get some readings come in. Or not. So now that the move editor has established communications with the Trinkey, we're seeing these sensor values being printed out. So that's what the CircuitPython code is doing. So I'll close this and open the IDE, which is NetBeans for this project. And this is a build run through Maven, and I'll just show the application running. And so it brings up the UI, and at first it doesn't have a temperature reading until it gets something off of the serial port. So you can see there it's 29 degrees Celsius and with the humidity level of 43. And I think the next thing is to see how this the same thing is happening in the console over here. I'm not sure what that error was. I think there's a parse. Oh, okay, it hadn't connected yet. But it's the same thing. It's reading the temperature from the microcontroller and verifying, doing some debug statements there. And if kind of hard to tell the way the camera is, but I'm gonna put hot air from my breath onto this, and the humidity and temperature should change. So you can see a change, and now that I'm not blowing on it, it should go back down. Okay, so those are the tests. I don't have a hot air gun, and I don't want to put a lighter to it, so I can't really test it that way. So that's all well and good if you want to run the application in your IDE and you're developing it, but if you want to run it in a more practical manner, you'd want to have a distributable application. In this case, it'd be a jar, an executable jar. And so to achieve that, you would run the command Maven package on the command line, and what this does is create a let's do it. What this will do is create a jar in the target directory that we can run outside of the IDE. So this is the jar that just got created, and to run it outside of the IDE, I'll just close it so you can see that it's not doing that. We'll run this command that includes a path to JavaFX enabled JVM, mainly the Zulu one that's used, that I know works with this project. So we paste that command in and run it. It'll be the same thing but without the IDE. So that's the demo, and I thought of doing more stuff for this, like for going further, and maybe decide to use a dedicated computer for this that would always have it running like a Raspberry Pi, and just for more not security, but to make sure that the hardware isn't exposed. I think it'd be a good idea to design an enclosure for it and then 3D print it. I forgot to show the actual Trinkey that's from Adafruit. So here it is. It plugs into USB, and I'll put a link in the description for those interested on how to obtain one for themselves or another person. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more JavaFX and hardware applications. Thank you.